All right. Hello to all the people who are not here. There might actually be some fault of my own to be had for that. I had forgotten to change the message left over in the live chat section from Wednesday when I had to cancel. I just rescheduled it for tonight. And I had left a message up there saying that um, tonight, meaning Wednesday, had been canceled. And I just came in here completely forgetting about that message, and no one's here. So maybe everyone thinks it's canceled, maybe not. But uh, be that as it may, welcome to Living and Active. Welcome to the Living and Active live gathering stream. My name is Leland. Um, have the decidedly unique experience of me trying to do a live stream from my recliner because I'm having some stability issues. But I've already canceled a couple live streams and a couple in-person live gatherings over the last couple weeks. So I'm just trying to hang on to having one thing that I don't have to cancel. For those of you who are new here, who will be seeing this after the video or after the stream is done, the link in the description is for the previous live stream that actually happened. There will be a pinned comment listing any of the other YouTube channels that are mentioned or represented by people who come into the live chat. Also in the pinned description, you will find a link to the next scheduled live stream. If there is a next scheduled live stream, which there may or may not be. Also, something to keep in mind if you are new here, the live chat does get retained in these live streams. So within about 24 hours after the stream ends and the video is processed and published by YouTube, the live chat will replay. That's why I have it set like that. People that have come through here before have said that they were fine with it. So that's the way it stays. So keep that in mind when you are conversing with other people or with me in a live chat. Um, Mind your tongue. If you say something uncouth, unfortunate, or whatever in the live chat, you can give yourself a bit of amnesty by going to your own comment, highlighting it, going all the way over to the right hand side, clicking on the three dots, and then selecting remove, and then your comment will be withdrawn. Um, I'm having some serious doubts about the longevity of the live streams. I know I just changed the schedule for those of you who saw in the post. I know I just changed the schedule for the live streams. I added one to the week. I did all kinds of delineation between subject matters and everything else, but I am having a fight with my various browsers. YouTube has stopped acknowledging uh, my main browser that I use for the live streams. It will not progress. It just sits there and tells me that I have to give access to my cam and my microphone. Hello, Wayne. How are you? Even though both are turned on and the approval has been given, so that tells me that Brave is catching YouTube doing something with my um, camera and microphone that I have not consented to, that isn't part of the live stream, and so Brave is blocking them. Or maybe YouTube is just throwing a fit because they don't like browsers telling them what to do, and so they're just being petty, which is entirely possible. So I had to come over here to Microsoft Edge again. I hate using Windows for anything, pretty much. And last night, after I did the first Midnight Chapel live stream, I was forced to use Windows. And for the next few hours after that live stream ended, I had problem after problem after problem with my internet. So if that's the pattern of things, if I'm going to keep being forced to operate inside this browser instead of the one I want to use, and then afterwards end up having to pay with whatever, then the live stream is just not going to happen. I do not have the time, energy, or patience for that kind of stuff. The work is there, yeah, the work is important or whatever. Um, but I suffer no delusions as to me being the only one doing it. Um, there's uh, other ways to do what needs to be done without subjecting myself to that kind of stuff. So so tonight is a Living and Active live gathering, as I've already said. The new schedule is going to be, if this nonsense with the browser doesn't get resolved, it's going to be Wednesdays is going to be analytical hermeneutics at 6:30 p.m. Central. Saturdays is going to be Living and Active live gathering at 6:30 p.m. Central. And then as many midnights. Hello, Bucky. How are you? I'm doing well, sir. How are you? And then as many midnights as I can manage. So these won't probably be announced until a few hours before. Uh, I'll be doing the midnight chapel. But again, this is all dependent upon the level, the extent to which YouTube keeps messing with me and the airing of these live streams. So for those of you who came in late, missed it, um, hello, Winjo, how are you? Uh, you get the honor and the privilege of watching me do a live stream from my recliner because I'm having stability issues, and I've already canceled too many things this week in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to have at least one that I didn't cancel. So here we sit in my recliner. I have my coffee. You guys might see a couple interesting ticks or whatever you want to call them that you haven't seen before because of my positioning. And by the way, Mr. Bucky's brother gets first mention of channel as he always does during these live streams because he's cool uh, and because he has a channel called Gen X Thinks that does a lot of live streams. In particular, the one that starts in about half an hour, actually about 20 minutes. So I'm not going to make anybody pick a live stream they want to hang out in. You guys can go or stay or whatever you want. Uh, but if you do head over to Gen X Thinks, um, glad you stopped by for a little bit and tell the folks I says hi. Nice. I guess we're all just recliner jockeys tonight. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but I mean, it's one thing to like be spectating from a recliner. It has a different feel to be uh, hosting from a recliner, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just self-conscious. I haven't gotten to the point of I've shot a couple videos like static videos just to post and publish for people to stumble upon whatever from my hospital bed. I don't know if any of them stuck around very long. I think I ended up deleting all of them because usually if I'm got it. Usually if I'm in the bed and I have to do something, I'm not feeling much really like doing anything. So the video quality suffers, and I just haven't a thing with doing a video from my bed. I don't like it. As you got some work in, Bucky. Not like it's odd for you to get work in. You work a lot, but so how is everyone this evening? Well, I appreciate that one, Joe, but really well, there are all kinds of there are already all kinds of conversations going on in social media circles about, the the plight of modern males. I don't need to add to that conversation. People have already said and heard what needs to be said about it. But uh, speaking in terms of losing sense of self, losing sense of value as a man, I'm here to tell you, landing in a wheelchair does no man any favors in terms of retaining his sense of masculinity. So that's just part of it. But I do appreciate the acknowledgement, Wenjo. But yeah, so I don't know what the future of the live streams is actually going to end up being because, like I said, if the powers that be insist on playing games with my little bitty channel just because I changed or added to my topics, then that's a level of pettiness I don't need to engage in. I don't know who was here when I said what, but awesome. It's good. That's the kind of work that gets appreciated. And I used to do the last job I was ever able to kind of sort of have was as a it sounds like you and your brother in similar work. Probably wouldn't surprise me to have your company together or something. But I used to have um, sort of an on-call handyman service. Um, that depends on how well the monsters are armed. There are there are there are legitimate physiological and logistical barriers to even mounting a defense. You know, I might still be able to look big and mean and scary from the chair, but the facts of the matter is it's literally impossible for me to move and wield a weapon, hold it on target at the same time. And that takes 80% of tactical efficiency right out of you. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too, Bucky. Like, I don't, I think pretty much the content for the static videos has been exhausted. I mean, I think so. I think I can be done with all of those. And if I could figure out a way to maintain the lives, I would be happy just doing the 3 lives a week on those 3 topics and still feel like I'm accomplishing the work that um, I'm supposed to be doing. work that I worked very hard, spent many years and way too much money getting equipped to do. Um, and I would free up a lot of time to actually spend more um, time in actually practically doing the things that I like to make videos about doing. So yeah, um, it is my sincere desire that I'm not facing some sort of massive overlord type of pettiness in these things because it did not happen until um, literally until I started making preparations to launch last night's trial midnight chapel live stream, and then everything just went nuts. Like nothing worked, nothing would line up. The first Living and Active live gathering live stream I did, that happened very quickly, very easily, almost by accident. Um, but as soon as I did something called a midnight chapel and I put in the description, that's a place for people to um, a candid and truthful opportunity for people to seek, find, and grow in the peace of the one who created us, loves us, and gave himself for us. Then all of a sudden, then I have all these issues with even getting the things set up, scheduled, whatever. It kept trying to route me to uh, streaming software that I don't have. Um, no, I'm not starting a cult. I'm also not starting a cult. Um, I don't do that. Um, Ironically enough, Winjo, I was actually born into a polygamy cult, so I've seen my share. Maybe Bucky's actually talking about starting cults, like weaning cults and getting them broken in for for farm work. He is talking about starting horses. Okay, cool. Aha, that's an important thing to make sure isn't a typo. I didn't even see Bucky's original comment. I thought Wenjo was asking me if I was starting a cult. That was If I was feeling better, I'd probably be laughing a lot harder. That was interesting. No, I thought you were asking me if I was wanting to start a cult. The answer is no. That's awesome. Surprised that wasn't able to turn itself into like a uh, lifelong career. But hey, if I was able to turn every single thing that I wanted to do as a kid into a career, I'd be one. I probably never would have even thought about going into the military, which means I wouldn't be in a wheelchair today. Which means that nothing involving my frame of reference for my own life would even though you both hated it. Got it. Then it makes sense you don't do it. So I don't know if any of the other semi-regulars will be swinging by today. I haven't had a chance to really to chat with anyone, to get in touch with anyone, to see who's coming by or whatever. I've been fighting with my own body and trying to progress the stuff I have going around here because I have suddenly way more sewing machines around me than I remember buying. Thankfully, many of them are close enough to being ready to head back out that the turnaround's not going to be too long, so I don't have too much of a burden on my space long term. But still, I'm just trying to slow down on the machines and start actually sewing and designing more adaptive equipment and clothing more. Um, but um, 'cause I think what happened is I feel sort of guilty for not doing the work of getting more machines out into the economy, and most of the machines that I have that I hadn't already fixed up and donated, I really like them because they are 100 something years old. They're antique. They're very, very nice. And most of them I can't find parts for. So I ordered more sewing machines to keep into the work of keeping getting stuff put back into the economy. And I may have overdone it so far this year. I think that would be an awesome thing to be able to do, Bucky. Like, I'm originally from Texas, and I was a ghetto rat in Pasadena, College Station, Texas City, all of those places. And my biggest dream, and the biggest dream of me and all my other fellow ghetto rats, was making it big and heading out west and getting on in a good ranch somewhere, and just working land and coming up through everything that we saw as kids whenever, our rich relatives took us to the rodeo or whatever. I had an aunt and uncle, and they did a lot of things around Houston. So it was Astros games, it was a rodeo circuit, it was whatever. Um, and then there was a couple people that were the guy my mom actually married and had my other set of half siblings with. He was actually I don't know if he was small circuit amateur, whatever, but he was a rodeo rider. So that meant more shows, more livestock auctions. So I was all in that, and I wanted to go west, young man, and get in good on a ranch and work and build my way up to my own spread. Never happened. So yeah, I just stayed a ghetto rat, and then I turned into white trash here up north in Marquette County. I did whatever whatever opportunities came along for me to do. Okay, so as a professional courtesy, uh, to Jesse over at Gen X Things, I'd like to remind you guys he's going live in about 4 minutes. So if you guys want to split, you can. I won't hold it against you. They're probably going to be more entertaining than I am tonight anyway. Yeah, a good horse and open land, simple living, tough living, but honest, earned living. I'll settle for sewing machines in a one-bedroom apartment if that's what I've got for this time. I don't even know if it's settling. I just think it is what it is. It's where I'm at. Maybe I could have ended up somewhere else, but if I did end up somewhere else, would I be the same person I am today? I'd probably have to think maybe not. I don't know if it lags too much longer here, and nobody else comes in and the conversation dies, then um, I might close this down and head on over there. But I'm gonna wait here, just to give other people from other corners of YouTube a chance to come by and see if they have anything to say. But if I do or don't see you over there, Bucky, have a great night, great evening, and I have another. You said you're going to bed after this, or maybe um whatever. But I don't know. After tonight, I might collapse. I don't know. I'm still thinking about all of that stuff that I was talking about earlier, so I don't really know what's going to happen. But you also have a good evening. It's 7 o'clock. Do you know where your Gen X thinks is? Mind you, I'm trying to figure out if you're talking to me or Bucky. Yep. Yeah, no, go hang out with your brother, man. I wouldn't get in the way of that for anything. No harm, no foul. I'll see you around. Well, truth be told, I'd rather we'd have stuck to riding animals than gotten all wrapped up in riding around in machines to go next to no distance at all. I think there's probably a lot of resiliency and fortitude that we could have preserved for a lot longer if we hadn't turned our entire existence into chasing convenience and removal from hardship. Motorcycles are cool, but I would still probably rather ride a horse. Either way, because of the wheelchair, the end result is the same. I still can't ride anything but the wheelchair, but it is what it is. So, so Wayne, do you have thoughts on the whole midnight chapel thing or anything I said already about the questions concerning the live streams? I'm currently cataloging uh, where pretty much I have questions. And apparently I'm the one that's also supposed to find the answers. Um, so yeah, I know where most of the people who are usually here are at right now, and I no problems there. So I guess we'll see if first it would be good to see if Living and Active live gathering, live streams, or any of the live streams can just stand on their own, regardless, without of what anybody else's stream schedule does. All right, Bucky, you have a great evening. God bless you, and rest well. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for poking your head in, even for a little bit. Mm. So yeah, I don't know. All of these things sound like good ideas, uh, and maybe I oversell them to myself. Sure, everybody's going to want to take part of this. This is a good idea, you know. And then it comes down to that question: how long do you like? Where's the line of demarcation between holding on to something that isn't exactly all that active or prolific or whatever for the sake of being faithful to your commitment to do it, and the point where you're just holding on to something you should let go of because it's just not going to happen, and it's a waste. So I found myself at that point already with the Living and Active live gatherings. It was a great idea. Everybody told me it was a great idea. I've had two people ask me not to quit, but neither one of them come to the gatherings. So who knows? No, truth be told, I might actually end this early. Um, I can't think of anything. I do want to wait and give the other people from the other corners of YouTube a chance to drop by and see what conversations can be started up. But I probably won't be. I don't know. I figure if I hang out until 7:30, that'll be an hour on the books. Um, and then, if there's nothing happening here, then I can just close this down, shoot on over to Gen X thinks, and then see what the cool kids are doing. Can you guys hear what I can hear upstairs? There's like a dance party or something going on up there. So, what I've managed to do today is not much. I had heard what sounded like construction going on upstairs. My landlord had said that he was going to, he'd bought a more accessible sink nozzle for my kitchen sinks and make it easier for me to do dishes or whatever. And he had said that while he had the plumber doing the changeover for the upstairs apartment, he would have him come down here and do swap out the faucets to the sink. So I heard what sounded like construction type stuff happening upstairs, and so I got my whole kitchen ready for the person to come down, and they haven't. So, but I did get my kitchen kind of sort of clean. I got some small stuff done. Um, that's cool, maybe. Yeah, I've got the TikTok of the mechanical clocks. I've always got the ringing in my ears. I'm glad you can't hear that. And then there's like music and percussive type sounds coming from upstairs. Yeah, I've got probably 6 pounds of pork loin roast sitting in the slow cooker. I'm gonna do a portion of that for dinner, and I think the rest I'm going to um, put through the dehydrator, get them sealed up in jars, vacuum sealed and everything, and then store them because I want something other than MREs just in case weird things happen to food supply or whatever. And dehydrating is a lot easier than and less expensive than freeze drying or any of that other stuff. And I don't trust myself to be able to handle canning equipment like with the water bath canners and the big full jars and everything without dropping and burning, scalding, slicing myself open or poisoning myself. So I dehydrate. Listening to the clocks. It's weird when there's not much going on in chat, and I'm like, oh, I usually plan on giving space for the other conversations that are happening in here, and there isn't one. I think it's just me and you here, Wayne. Wow. I didn't even have a topic for tonight. Like something to pad to run time just so people aren't sitting there staring at my face. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry this until 7:30 even. I'm getting bored sitting here. There's nothing against you, Wayne. It's just that there's no conversation going. I don't know. Maybe I've just been too unwell feeling for the last couple weeks and I have a bad attitude or something. I don't know. I try not to let it get to me, not to try not to let it affect how I do things, but sometimes heavy things are just heavy. Let's see. I can't think. Yeah, but all too often, as my experience, military experience, fighting the good fight involves a lot of standing guard. A lot of hunkering down in defensive positions and staring out at nothing until the nothing becomes something to interact with. Hey, well, thanks for the return visit, Bucky. You have a good night. You know, it's interesting. Like on this channel, you enjoyed guard duty. Um, on this channel, I have 42, I think, subscribers, viewers, whatever. Um, I hate referring to people as subscribers and viewers because that turns them into commodities. I don't like doing that. But whatever they're to be referred to in a way that doesn't turn people into commodities, there's 42 of them. And up until very recently, I mean, for years, I've only ever been in direct contact with two or three subscribers, even when I was cruising and holding steady at 20 for years at a time. It was two or three, depending, that I would regularly interact with, and the other 16, 17 were they're just lurking. I've never, no idea who they are, don't know anything about them, don't know if they've seen my stuff, if they interact with my stuff, nothing. No interaction, no feedback whatsoever. Um, but it is for the purpose of putting things out there that people can find. Maybe it needs maybe it's the thing that helps them get to wherever it is they need to be to see even the opportunity, the possibility of some kind of uh, healing or restoration or breakthrough, or even just a little bit of entertainment on the odd occasion where I mess around and accidentally do something funny, you know. Uh, I don't consider any of this wasted at all. Um, it's just that sort of low burning uh, bed of embers that you keep, feeding and stoking just very gently a little bit sometimes to keep it going slow and steady, just to keep it in place for when it's got some more work to do. But I really wish this thing with the browser would stop happening. I don't like being tag teamed by YouTube and Microsoft. I don't enjoy that at all because it really was like after I ended the midnight chapel this morning, it was hours before anything was actually working right or acting right on my laptop, any of the normal things that I try to do online. Uh, I wrote a post about like the internet was cutting out in weird times, like in the middle of writing a post, internet cut out, and then I looked over at my modem and all the equipment and everything, and all the lights were on. Power was going to everything. There was no reason for it to have shut off. I was actively using the device that was connected to the network, and then the network didn't even show up in the list of available networks. I had to um, I had to manually turn off and then restart the uh, network capability, whatever, of the laptop, just to refresh the list and get back to doing what I was trying to do. And there were a couple other weird things too, like things that just refused to load or being whatever. I did not enjoy it, and it's stuff that happened or didn't happen until after I used Windows to do the midnight chapel thing this morning, which I only had to do because YouTube forced me to try a browser other than the one I wanted to use because it was not working. So if that kind of nonsense keeps going on, practically speaking, um, as much as people enjoy the live streams and everything else, the practical aspect of it is, um, it might come down to reducing the number of uh, irons in the fire or whatever. Um, but I don't know. It depends on impact, on participation, on um, the ability for it to actually do good in the lives of other people. Because if it ever turns into me just throwing my face online just so I can feel good about having my face online, that's the instant all of it needs to stop and go away. This cannot be about me uh, trying to feel justified as a person. This is all about um, figuring out ways to interact with other people in a mutually reciprocal way that benefits everybody involved. And if it's not doing that, then it's not worth doing. That's how I see it. Hmm. Let's see, 10 minutes. I keep seeing it looks like there's somebody that keeps coming in and then skipping back out. So I don't know if that's some of the other people that come in here and interact and engage with things or not, or if it's just YouTube being weird. Like I've been reviewing videos and stuff on the channel. I'm sorry to be talking so much about the channel, but I don't know what else to do. Um, like I'll be reviewing videos that I've uploaded that have been published on the channel or whatever. And as I'm watching the video, the view counter, not the likes, the view counter will actually drop. I don't know how that's even possible, but I'll watch it scroll backwards, to go from like 4 to like 2, and then it'll come back up to 3 views, and then look at it again a little bit later and it's 6. It's weird. I don't enjoy the games. Oh yeah, Agent Smith was all over it. And since I'm not in direct line of sight of my Chinese spy panda, um, I might be getting a little blowback from across the sea as well. Maybe um, Agent Chan isn't all that happy with me either. Agent Smith and Agent Chan. I almost kind of wish like there was somebody that would like tell you what list you're on. No, I don't. I really don't. I thought about that and then I was like, no, I don't really want to know. I probably don't want to know exactly how many lists are in existence or like the things that people do to land on them. Maybe that's information I don't want. It's not relevant to my existence because I might as well just shrug and assume I'm on all of them. Mhm. All right, 7 more minutes. I'm gonna give it 7 more minutes, and then if people from um, like the other channels or whatever don't come in here, then I'm gonna shut her down and head on over to Gen X Thinks. It'll save me time in trying to in putting links to the channels that are mentioned or represented by the people that show up. So that's one thing. The after party tasks will be much easier to do. We are steadily holding. We've got 5 likes, and now there's 2 people in here. We were at one for a while. Now there's 3. So I don't know. I seriously doubt there's any kind of accuracy in this little counter up here that shows how many people are watching. But it's nice, busy work for the mind. Oy. So Wayne, you know any good jokes? You know any bad jokes? That's awesome. That's got to be cool to still have like a finger on the pulse of things, like just being able to reach out and tap some of the old connections if need be. That's got to be pretty cool. Well, it's cool in the first part, just having connections to begin with. I'm not cool enough to ever be able to say, I can make a phone call to a couple of my Intel buddies and, get some things done. I can't say that. I used to have it. This is true. I used to have a security clearance back when I was doing port to port uh, regional runs, the one ton flatbed in Louisiana. I forget what the name of it's a TWIC card. I forget what TWIC stands for. but it's almost like a smart ID that they give the military, and we had to have it if you're doing any kind of logistical work, port to port, in and out of security areas. So I guess that would be the closest thing I had to a security clearance. That's a job that I wish I could have held on to for a lot longer than I did. It was hard to make any money on it whatsoever if you didn't own the truck. If you're driving someone else's truck, oh man, there's absolutely no way to make any kind of decent living because you were absolutely regulated out of. Um, See, now I'm getting a thing that's saying that Microsoft Edge is using my microphone. I didn't give well, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, driving somebody else's truck, getting what is like 20%, not even, no, not even close to 20%, whatever the percentage was of total runs. There's no way to run enough consistently enough to actually make any kind of money with it because you always had to log. You could only drive for a certain amount of time, then you had to be down for a certain amount of time. Um, hardly anyone was running any kind of loads, 1-ton loads. It was, so hanging out on the dock, uh, at the port or whatever, waiting for another load before you leave out again, you could be sitting there for like 6, 7 hours. Um, it was just, it was fun. I love driving all over the place. I like being in all the different places and loading and unloading and all that other stuff was cool. I get to see some really nice stuff, but it would have been better if I had to own my own vehicle. All right, Wayne, we are sitting at the hour mark. If you have no objections, I'm going to close this down here and then head on over to see what kind of nonsense and tomfoolery I can get up to at Gen X Thinks. Um, unless you have an opinion about staying here. All right, so um, not really much to recap. I am still thinking over the feasibility of continuing to do this, especially if I'm going to keep getting digital interference and game playing by certain entities. I don't know. We will see. But for those of you who come by and you might have been bored for the last hour, sometimes it happens. Sometimes quiet needs to happen. Sometimes whatever. Not everything is always uh, sound and fury signifying nothing. So whatever you happen to find yourself facing, watching this after the fact or whatever, um, let's keep in mind Hebrews 11:6. Without faith, it is impossible to please God, because those who come to God must believe that He is. He is a rewarder of those who seek Him. Until next time, if there is a next time, and there might not be, God be with you. Wayne, I'm probably going to see you over on Gen X Thinks maybe, but uh, this is has come to a close for the time being. So have a good one. God bless you.